joining me now to talk about it all is Misty Marris, a defense and trial attorney. So, Misty, the case nearing its end goes to the jury Monday. I know you've been in court for much of the trial. I mean, what are your thoughts here? Let's start with the prosecution. Do you think they made an effective case against Sean Diddy Combs here?
Yeah, Omar, I've been on a lot of the trial, and I was in the courtroom for closing arguments in two diametrically different styles going into the close. The prosecution, very clinical, going through element by element of each of the charges and applying the evidence to those elements, and the defense, more of a narrative, more of a story. From the prosecution's perspective, the Mann Act, that's transportation to engage in prostitution. There's a lot of evidence on that. Sex trafficking. The case relating to Cassie Ventura, that's one count, and then there's a case relating to Jane, that's another. The critical question, force, fraud, or coercion. Now, prosecutors did a good job of laying that all out. They said that you don't have to find that they were coerced in every instance that they engaged in this commercial sex act or the freak-offs, only some. Now, in my view, on one hand, that makes it a little easier for the jury to convict. On the other hand, if the jury thinks that it's not all sex trafficking, will that influence their decision? And then last, we have RICO. And to me, that has fallen flat. And the defense was actually able to capitalize that. Prosecutors say this is a criminal enterprise spanning 10 plus years, but it's really a criminal enterprise of one, named co-conspirators. However, Omar, we never heard from those co-conspirators in the courtroom. So that one is really the weakest of the prosecution's charges.
Sure. Look, you heard before, defense attorneys say Combs' behavior was part of a lifestyle. Prosecutors say it was criminal activity. I mean, how hard could it be for some jurors to sort of see past the details here, which I think for the person, any normal person, I guess, would look at some of the details and focus on those?
Absolutely. The violence, the video from the 2016 Intercontinental incident and testimony corroborating that violence among not just the two victims, Cassie Ventura and Jane, but others in his sphere, his employees. It's very difficult to get over that conduct. And you heard the defense really concede that he's a flawed man and he engaged in some violence. And you're absolutely right. That's a hurdle the defense has to overcome. And I'll tell you, being in the courtroom with a lot of people who have watched the trial the whole way through, there are diametrically different views of this case. But the question really is whether or not it fits into the federal charges that are brought against Combs, and the most serious being sex trafficking and RICO. I think you're going to see the jury grappling with these issues. Now, the defense and that story that we spoke about before, this says that this is about taking someone's private life, and you might not agree with it, and you might think it's strange, but it's criminalizing it, even so far as to say it's putting crime scene tape on your bedroom door. So the defense did what they needed to do. Prosecution also did an excellent job. So this is not an easy one for the jury.
Misty Marris, appreciate the insight as we get to the close of this trial.
Thank you.